same time. They're actually very key in driving this agenda of alumni. They understand. Maybe some of you are their classmates. Who knows? And after this, there's going to be a time of fellowship. It's always good. There's nothing as beautiful as reunion. We always go to a high school reunion, and I know there is a lot of you who have met in a long time. Maybe after, like him, maybe, okay, unfortunately he's alone. But probably I know he was wishing he could find an old schoolmate. Maybe he can share the joy of how the world has been. So that is good. So if it's taking long, maybe because of time, we can let the chief guest and then you can come later. I don't know. They are good.
Yeah, they are good to go.
They are good to go.
So I think we can move on. It can share later.
It can be shared later. Yeah, the chief guest has communicated that he may not be here until the end. So I'm being informed. It's good to have people behind you who keep telling you where they do. So I'm being informed that we'd wish that as we address you, we also have some, because we have what we also call after ceremony. We shall be planting commemoration trees, and the chief guest will also want to address specifically, probably referring to you as leaders. So we can have a moment as they prepare. We just kind of shifting the program. We have you elect your nominees so to address you from the point of knowing who will be representing you and who will be working. This is interim because as you grow, you may need to know each other. You know each other better, and you decide to change along the way to be conducting your elections. You're going to have your own bylaws. You're going to have your own constitution, if need be. So probably as they prepare for that, before the chief guest addresses you, we can give you a moment by department. I know the organizing team had organized stations for the different departments. Why? Because we'd want a representative of every. We don't have, because we are aware that some departments have more people than others. You can be sure if I ask per department the number of people who raise their hands, there is one which is going to dominate others. And that's not fair. In terms of equity, we want to be as fair as possible. So I'll usher in the master of the program is going to direct each department where you just go and sit in cluster, and then you can be able to agree on who shall sit in the interim committee, who we shall work with, and then the same people shall be given maybe a few seats at the front or something. I know you've not given you enough time to campaign, which is a good thing because it means we are saving your resources. You know, you are right to use some resources to change opinions and attitudes and ideas. Yeah, but I believe you can easily just come together. Probably you may introduce yourself very quickly. What you do, we'd also want to know what you do. I think in the sign-up sheet, also said you want to know what you do. So you may want to find somebody who is more strategic towards representing you in our interests. Yeah, but you note that actually our core mandate is training. So even as you nominate yourselves, we shall seek to link you up with what we do, because we want you to be ambassadors of our objectives and also partakers of us implementing what we do. So probably before you do, you'll have a time to introduce yourself, get to know each other, so that you know who will best represent you. We'll only give you something like how many minutes? 20 minutes are enough. Yeah, just moving a bit. I think we ain't so many as yet. So it's an advantage for some of you to be elected because the competition it isn't so intense. So we'll give you 20 minutes to break, pick somebody, 4 rows somewhere, 4 seats somewhere, so that you'll be able to know. And amongst them, they'll pick a chair, an interim chair, who to commemorate this great day we shall be planting 1 or 2 trees, because this is seriously symbolic. It's a very important day that needs to stand in the memory of those who shall come after us. We also believe when something happened that was so important, we always erected a stone on a altar, something that will say this took place on this day. And when your great-grandchildren shall come, you shall say that we planted this tree in commemoration of the launch of the alumni. Thank you so much. I think you'll guide where, yes, I'll usher in Mr. Kihbt. He will guide you where each will sit. Within 20 minutes, we'll be back so that we can now be able to have the results announced. And then the next phase of the celebration today will also be to celebrate the new officials of the alumni. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the direction. Now, when we're having the committee, the committee was, the organizing committee was of opinion that we have 9 members, which will form a legal quorum, and the composition of the members with the composition of how our school is structured and populated, the members were of the opinion that we have 3 members from the civil department. That is, the civil department is composed of civil engineering, land survey, highway engineering, as it were. Although right now we have a department as highway engineering because of us being made the center of excellence. But for this purpose, we are having highway engineering under civil department. So we'll have 3 representatives from that department. And because most of the courses in Kisii are road-based, and we don't have long courses in Kisii, but we'll be introducing them in the near future, we felt that we could have a representative from Kisii under the civil department. So when you are electing, kindly consider that we'll have 1, I would say, reserved for Kisii. And this is an interim committee, so please bear with us on that. Then we have a building department, which is composed of quantity surveying, building technology, and architecture. So for that department, 2 slots were allocated. For mechanical, diversity, the committee was of opinion that you have 2 representatives. So those are 7. The 7. And then we'll have electrical and engineering department and ICT. 1 representative. So the process will be led by the HODs, and I want to request the HODs in civil to stand up, so that people in civil can note them. So we have Samuel Setabao, can come here. We have Samuel Setabao, who is the HOD, civil, and then we have Fire Sogoti, who, as I had informed you now, we have a department known as Highway Engineering Department. So this will be, also we have Barasa. Remember, we have a campus in Ngong. So Barasa is also our HOD in Ngong. So this will be our presiding officers, and they'll be guiding the process for those people in civil engineering department. Initially, we had proposed that we have people from civil. The seating arrangement was us to have the individual departments sitting together, but because of some logistics and also the manner in which we are streaming in, that could not be possible. So maybe after this, we'll group ourselves to where our POs will be, and then we'll have that selection. Now, the selection or election will be, it's something that you can discuss very quickly, and then it could be an affirmation or voting. It's something that you will determine with your peers. And then we have building department being led by QS Thomas Nabero. I don't know if he is in here, but deputized by So as mentioned, I've been informed that those people in civil department can have a moment with the POs, probably the back of the tent or somewhere, back of the tent, and then you can, because you are the largest group actually, so you can be able to select your representatives. So you can follow them kindly. Those people in civil department, because it's civil engineering, highway engineering, land survey, we assume that will be the biggest group, and I think you are not wrong, as you can see. Followed by building department. So you are selecting 3, and 1 is reserved for Kihbt, so you could remember that when we're doing. So they're selecting 3. 1 is for Kihbt, and the other one will be selecting. There is a representative from Kihbt. The next group will be building group, and I want to request QS Nyang'au to help Kilonzi in being the POs. Those people in QS, surveying, ARC, and building in both campuses, Ngong and Nairobi. This will be our POs. So probably on this other end, you can follow them, and you'll be able to select 2 representatives. And then the next group, so you can follow them. This group will have electrical, mechanical engineering. Actually, you're privileged that you'll be led by one of you. So we'll have Wanja. Please stand up and come here in front. Also, you can see there are many, and I want to say thank you for turning up. We have Wanja being assisted by a deputy, Anthony Cheriot, kindly. So this will be your POs, those in mechanical. And I want to note that Wanja was very vocal in you having 2 slots. And so you'll follow them, and they'll be able to be your presiding officers. The next group is electrical engineering and ICT. I want to request Bwana Samson Mode, who is the HOD ICT, who will be assisted by Caroline Mulu, who is the deputy HOD in electrical engineering. For us, I'm saying us because I'm in electrical engineering, we've been assigned 1 representative, but I believe if the mathematics is